Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite video. In today's video, this is going to be the third episode of my Season 4 tip series. This tip series is focused on how to be a Fortnite god or a god at Fortnite. And today's episode, we're going to be focusing all around this one area, Dusty Divot. Now, this area is probably not the best to go if you want to play safe or you want to go for easy wins. If you're more interested in that, I made a video yesterday on how to play safe and get a huge win percentage in this Season 4. But if you are interested in high kill games and you're interested in having some fun and getting better at the game, Dusty Divot is sort of like the new Tilted Towers. I'll be explaining it all. Drop a like on today's video. Let's go for 320 likes. That would be absolutely amazing if we could hit that. I appreciate everyone dropping likes. Just the support has been amazing in Season 4. I want to take my channel to that next level and, just keep uploading good quality content. We're over 110,000 subscribers already, and we just hit like 100K. So the growth has been amazing. It's truly a blessing, and, I say this all the time, but I really, really do appreciate everyone who has supported me and all that sort of stuff. Let's get into this. So, Dusty Divot now replaces Dusty Depot. Well, some people, Dusty Depot isn't fully gone. There's still about 70% of Dusty Depot up there, and the rest of it was just hit in this big area with the crater, and the factories was taken away from this map. It's also very close to Salty Springs, which I'll talk about later as far as rotations, and today's gameplay is just going to be a bunch of clips from early games of me landing here. The biggest tip for Dusty Divot is your land. If you don't have a good land, you're going to lose every time, because statistically and right now there's more people go in here than the amount of loot should be split up. So you need to land early. Keys for landing early is you want to drop super early, look straight down, and then just glide right on in. You have to drop early, and that does take some practice, although this is an easy area to drop, because usually you don't want to drop around mountains, because if you're at around a mountain or a higher height, when it's time to pull out the parachute, you're going to be pulling it out at a higher elevation. And that's why if it's coming in from a side where maybe it's coming in from the tilted side, you want to go dusty, you want to go around the mountain when you're dropping in, to make sure you avoid those high up areas. But that's pretty simple tips for how landing and all that sort of stuff. You want to get a gun and see a gun out of the sky. You can usually do this if you see a gun out of the sky. You want to go for that right away. If you know you can beat the enemies to it, look around at your surroundings, look where other people are going. If you can't go straight to a gun, because there is only a couple of outside gun spawns in this area, you want to land on a loot area, and you need to know the loot areas. It's really simple. This isn't that big of an area. There is in the truck on the south side, there is a crate or a chest inside there, and inside the buildings on both sides, the east side and the west side, there is chests over there in the roof, and the other one is right there. And on the north side area, there's also some chest spots in those buildings. So those are all the chest locations that you're going to want to look for, or at least the main ones where they're going to spawn. And in buildings is where you're going to find weapons. So if you can't land by a weapon outside, land inside a building and make sure you get a gun. Now the guns and the loot you're going to want to prioritize. Loot is so key early game, because you'll get a lot of free kills here from people just running around with their pickaxe, because either they had a bad drop or they didn't pay attention to their surroundings when they were dropping. You want to prioritize shotguns and shields. You can live without an AR here, because a lot of people are going to be rushing you. You can live without an SMG, but you need to have a shotgun or you're going to lose. Sometimes I land on an AR, a guy rushes me with a shotgun and he kills me, because it's not because he outplayed me. He just got the better loot, which I guess technically is an outplay, but it's also RNG. Prioritize shotguns. If you have a shotgun, start to go ham. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clear the inside area, and it's fairly easy, because running through these little I don't know what these are, like these little pod things, the footsteps are extremely loud. Crank your headset, you can hear people clear out the inside areas. Once that's done, or even before that's done, you're going to hear people who are popping the hop rocks, or I'll call them hoppers for today's video. And those are people who use the hop rocks and come flying in late, after the original drop, into the area. I don't recommend dropping on a hop rocks. I think that's a terrible strategy, because you're really risking it that you probably won't get a gun first. And those people, when they're hopping in, you have the advantage if you're already inside, because number one, you already have the gun first, and number two, you're able to hear them. You can hear when people are flying in, and it makes it really easy just to set up, and if they overwhelm you, make sure to build to protect yourself from the hoppers hopping in. That's what you're going to want to do. Clear the inside, clear out the hoppers, and then make your way outside to be able to get that and grab the hop rocks yourself and use them. Now how the hop rocks work is basically you pick it up, you smash it, and then you're able to jump super high for the limited amount of time, which is around a minute minute or so, it seems, maybe a little bit less than that. Basically, you'll know when you're running out of time because it will start flickering on your character, and once it starts flickering, you only have a little bit of time left. So around that time, you can either grab another hop rock, which I recommend doing if you're near them. They don't officially stack in the way that like grabbing 2 won't extend your won't double your timer, but it will reset the timer. So if I'm about to expire on 1, I grab another one, it will reset that timer. You don't jump higher if you grab 2. All you need is 1, and then when it's close to expiring, grab another one. And how to play with that is you want to build while jumping, because you can get up multiple levels, and if you hold down and do a turbo build while jumping, you can really get a huge advantage on people. You can also make some great plays. I think they kind of added this so that normal people can make those ninja impulse grenade like plays without having to throw the impulse grenade, because of how high you can jump and how many crazy plays you can make without the fall damage. Another way to do the landing, if you're not comfortable landing on the inside, is to land at the original Dusty Depot here. And as you guys can see, I was the only one that landed in this area on this match, and I was able to get myself a decent amount of loot here. And then by the time I move over, I think there was one other guy who was landed around here, but I'm able to pick them off and move sort of outside into Dusty Depot, which is another strategy. I prefer to land inside and move out, but I want to get some footage of doing this outside to in. The ways you can do that is either landing right here at the original Dusty Depot and then moving to Dusty Divot, or if you land somewhere in the vicinity, although there's not too many places in the vicinity, there's that one house by Salty Springs, and then the in-between sort of house, and then there's also Salty Springs. But I definitely recommend landing on the inside. But you can see this outside strategy is pretty cool because I am now moving in with the hop rocks. Luckily, I was able to get myself a gun, but you guys can see I don't have a shotgun, which is the major disadvantage to this. Luckily, I pick off a few kills, I pick up a shotgun, and then I'm able to go to work with that. So that's some simple tips on how to dominate Dusty Depot, how to prepare yourself for the hop rocks, and how to make sure you're winning off the start. This is a really great place for, if you get good at the landing aspect and getting a gun, this is a great place to raise your KD and get a lot of kills. You can come out of here with, I think pretty much all the time, if I have a decent game, I'm coming out of here with anywhere from 5 to 10 kills, and that's setting me up for a super high kill gameplay if I can convert on it later in the game. There is some times where I will have a bad landing and the guy will get to the gun before me, and that's going to happen. That can hurt your KD a little bit, but this all takes practice, and this is sort of the new area. Just like how when Tilted Towers first came out, every single player would go there, and it would be an absolutely spam fest over there. Tilted Towers and Retail Row are still super popular right now, but this is the new location, and it is central on the map, which is another great thing, another perk of landing here. The rotations out of Dusty Divot, when I'm going crazy right now, the rotations, I'm just getting hyped talking about the rotations, they are so damn good. You're in the middle of the map. If it's moving to the left, the safe zone, you go and you rotate over to Tilted. If it's, most of the time, it's going to be central on Dusty, and you won't even have to move. I recommend usually looting Dusty inside to out strategy or outside to in, and then making your way with a hop rock to Salty Springs. If you grab one on the outside of the crater, you can make it by jumping all the way to Salty Springs before that expires, and your transition time there is super duper fast, and that is a populated area as well. It really is so close, and closer than you'd think. This big crater, it's closer than you would think to Retail Row and to Salty Springs. You can make it to both of those by using a hop rock, and then of course you won't be able to make it back using one because they're only available in this area. But that's definitely the rotations I prefer on the right side of the map. If you're going to the left side of the map, you can't make it all the way to Tilted, but you can make it a decent way, probably to the in-between sort of house, broken down house, and that's the rotations I would like to take off of that. Now, when the game ends at Dusty Divot, I'll give you guys some tips for that as well, or mid-game taking this on, because these are all tips for early game, because that's when this area is by far the most packed. You can get anywhere from 10 to 25 people landing here, which is absolutely crazy. But a new location, central map. See, that guy tried to make the ninja play on me right there, flying in with it, and I was able to prepare myself for it and hit the shot and just outplay him there with that. Good accuracy, I guess, was my friend right there. So the thing that you want to do late game here, I would recommend, if it's late game, staying up on the edges or around the edges area instead of right in the middle. And that's because once you get down in there, sometimes it is hard to get out even if you have a hop rock. There's certain places where it allows you to get out easy. There's others where it's a little more difficult. So that's definitely what I would recommend for the late game, which becomes pretty often. It's not rare for it to end here, especially since this is a new location. This is usually up, much like how Tilted Towers was before and still is, because of how central these locations are. They're going to last through the first and the second, sometimes even the third safe zone, pretty much most games, which is absolutely crazy. But those are some tips on how to dominate Dusty Divot. This video was all about that. I'll have more videos talking about complete different stuff, probably talk about the new Tilted. If you guys have any specific tips and tricks videos or comments or questions you want to ask me, go ahead and do so in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people are asking me for an updated settings video, so I think I'm going to be doing that in the future. My settings aren't anything special though, but everyone seems to be requesting it. So if you guys want that, let me know and then I'll probably do it. And drop a like on this video if you guys made it to the end. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Have a great night, and I'm out. Peace.